Right. Getting ready for a physiologist interview, huh? Well, today we're going to deep dive into RoleCatcher's resources to help you totally ace it.
That's right.
They've got these career guides, interview guides, even AI that helps tailor your answers.
Yeah,
It's like having a personalized cheat sheet.
exactly.
It's designed to make you stand out from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to cover what a physiologist actually does, the skills you got to showcase, and then, we'll get into the good stuff.
Okay.
Walking through those common interview questions with, some insider tips on how to answer them like a total pro.
Right.
And here's what's really interesting. RoleCatcher goes beyond just the, generic advice.
Right.
They've got these insights specific to the world of physiology, plus that AI that can help you customize your responses
Mm-hmm.
based on the actual job description you're looking at.
Yeah, it's all about making sure you're not just prepared, but perfectly prepared.
Exactly.
Nice.
So let's jump right into it. First up, let's talk about what physiologists actually do.
Okay.
More than just textbooks, right?
Absolutely. Physiologists are basically like detectives of the living world.
Okay.
They're researching how things work, humans, animals, even plants.
Oh, wow.
They're digging into those intricate processes that, keep us alive and functioning.
So it's a pretty broad field then.
Incredibly.
Wow.
And it's only getting broader, RoleCatcher highlights some really cool trends like gene editing and personalized medicine.
Yeah.
And those are areas where physiologists are at the forefront.
Okay.
They're the ones kind of unraveling those mysteries of our genes and figuring out how to create treatments tailored to each individual.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's a fascinating field with the potential to, really make an impact on people's lives.
Absolutely.
But RoleCatcher also mentions it's pretty competitive.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the pros and cons you should be aware of kind of going in?
Well, the pros are huge. Think about the job satisfaction of making these groundbreaking discoveries and actually improving people's health and well-being.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's not a walk in the park.
Okay.
It's a field that requires a solid educational foundation and a real passion for research.
Yeah.
You've got to be dedicated and ready to put in the work.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So you're saying it's challenging, but ultimately incredibly rewarding.
absolutely.
All right. Now let's get to the part I know you're probably most curious about.
Okay.
The interview questions.
Right.
RoleCatcher has a whole section dedicated to this, and some of them are, pretty specific to the world of physiology.
Mm-hmm.
What's great is they don't just list the questions. They actually give you insights into what the interviewer is really looking for and how to craft your response.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the first one. Describe your experience conducting experiments on living organisms.
Okay.
That sounds pretty intense. What's the best way to tackle this one?
This question is a fantastic opportunity to showcase both your technical lab skills and your ethical approach.
Okay.
Remember, they're not just looking for someone who can, just follow a protocol.
Yeah.
They want someone who understands the responsibility that comes with working with living subjects.
Right. It's about striking a balance between, showcasing your expertise,
Mm-hmm.
but also highlighting your awareness of the ethical consideration.
Exactly. Think about the specific research you've done.
Okay.
What organisms did you work with? What were the goals of the experiment? How did you ensure their ethical treatment? You can even mention specific protocols you followed or, certifications you have related to animal care or research ethics.
Right.
It shows you're not just knowledgeable, but also, conscientious and thorough.
It's like that extra layer of detail that really shows you're going above and beyond.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. How do you stay current with developments in the field of physiology? This one seems to be all about showing you're a lifelong learner.
Absolutely. Physiology is a rapidly evolving field, so it's crucial to demonstrate that you're actively engaged with the latest advancements
Yeah.
and not just relying on your degree to stay informed.
Right.
This is where you talk about the journals you read, the conferences you attend, even, researchers or institutions you follow online.
Yeah.
You can mention specific researchers or studies that have caught your attention. It shows you're genuinely interested in the field
Right.
and you're going out of your way to stay on top of things.
I love that. It's like showing them you're not just keeping up, you're actively seeking out new knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, this next one from RoleCatcher is interesting. How do you ensure that your research is reproducible and reliable?
Oh.
This seems pretty straightforward, but I bet there's more to it than meets the eye.
You're right. This one's all about your attention to detail
Yeah.
and commitment to scientific rigor. They want to know you understand the importance of producing research that can be, replicated and verified by others.
So it's about more than just getting results. It's about getting results that can, like, stand up to scrutiny.
Precisely. Think about the steps you take to ensure accuracy and consistency in your research.
Right?
Do you meticulously document your procedures?
Right.
Do you have systems in place for quality control?
Yeah.
How do you use statistical analysis to validate your findings?
It's really about painting a picture of yourself as that meticulous and thorough researcher, right?
Yeah,
Someone who takes pride in the quality and integrity of their work.
exactly. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty of research,
Okay.
RoleCatcher includes this question. How do you approach designing experiments to answer a specific research question? How do you think someone should approach this one?
This one seems to be all about demonstrating your critical thinking skills
Yeah.
and your ability to design experiments that'll actually yield, meaningful results.
Right. They're looking into your thought process here.
Okay.
How do you go from a broad research question to a, specific, like, testable hypothesis? What factors do you consider when you're designing your experimental methodology?
Right.
It's great to walk them through, your typical process, maybe even use a past research project as an example, outline the steps you took, the challenges you faced, and how you adapted your approach along the way.
That's a great way to, like, showcase your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's a question I think a lot of researchers can relate to. Describe a time when you encountered unexpected results in your research.
Okay.
Everyone hits roadblocks,
Yeah.
but is there a right or wrong answer when it comes to, unexpected results?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but the
Yeah.
key is to show how you handle setbacks and adapt your thinking.
Okay.
Unexpected results are like a part of the scientific process,
Right.
and they often lead to the most interesting discoveries.
So it's about showcasing your resilience and your ability to, learn from those mistakes.
Exactly. Don't shy away from discussing a time when your research didn't go as planned.
Right.
Instead, focus on the steps you took to investigate the discrepancy.
Okay.
Did you re-examine your methodology?
Mhm.
Consult with colleagues? Revise your hypothesis?
It's all about showing them you're not afraid of the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And that you can turn those challenges into opportunities for growth.
Exactly.
Now, this next question from RoleCatcher takes a different angle. How do you ensure that your research is ethical and complies with institutional regulations?
Okay.
Ethics are a big deal in any scientific field. What are some key things you should highlight here?
You want to demonstrate a clear understanding of, research protocols, informed consent procedures, anything relevant to the specific type of research you'll be doing.
Okay.
Be ready to discuss your experience with, ethical review boards and the steps you take to protect the privacy and well-being of any participants, especially if the position involved working with human subjects.
It's also about showcasing your commitment to ethical research, not just because it's the rule, but
Yeah.
because you genuinely believe in its importance.
Yes. And RoleCatcher's next question dives even deeper into this. Describe your experience conducting research using human subjects. What do you think is essential to emphasize here?
I think it's a chance to showcase your sensitivity and your ability to, like, build rapport with study participants.
Mm-hmm.
It's about treating people with respect and ensuring their well-being
Right.
throughout the entire research process, not just collecting data.
Right. If you have experience with this type of research, be ready to discuss the specific protocols you followed, how you obtained informed consent, and any measures you took to, like, maintain confidentiality. You can even mention, like, specific challenges you face and how you navigated those ethical dilemmas.
So it's about going beyond, like, checking boxes.
Yeah.
It's about conveying your genuine commitment to doing research that is both scientifically sound and ethically responsible.
Exactly.
Now, I want to touch on another question that gets at the bigger picture. How do you ensure that your research is relevant and applicable to real-world situations?
Okay.
What stands out to you about this question?
It's about highlighting the translational aspect of your work.
Okay.
It's like showing them how your research moves from the lab to the real world
Right.
and, like, makes a real difference.
Right.
You can discuss, collaborations you've had with industry partners
Figure.
or how your research has, direct practical implications. Have you developed any technologies or treatments based on your findings, worked on projects that, address real world problems?
So you're demonstrating that you're not just focused on, like publishing papers. You're thinking about the impact your work can have on people's lives.
Exactly.
Okay.
And finally, RoleCatcher highlights this question. How have you contributed to the field of physiology through your research? This feels like the culmination of all those other questions.
It's your chance to, like, sum up your impact and leave a lasting impression.
Yeah.
What's the best way to, like, approach this?
Don't be afraid to highlight your proudest achievements.
Okay.
Have you published any, like, groundbreaking papers, presented at prestigious conferences?
Yeah.
Received any awards or recognition for your work?
Wow.
Be specific about your accomplishments and quantify your impact whenever possible.
Right.
And, remember to mention any collaborations or mentorships that have contributed to your success.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground here.
Oh, we have.
It's clear that prepping for a physiologist interview goes way beyond just, knowing the science. You need to showcase research skills, ethical approach, commitment to staying current,
Yeah.
and, your ability to communicate complex ideas effectively.
It's a multifaceted challenge.
Right.
But RoleCatcher gives you a real edge.
Yeah.
Their interview guides provide these incredible insights into what interviewers are looking for.
Okay.
And their AI tools can be game changers.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to dive into next.
Okay.
Imagine having an AI co-pilot for your interview prep, right?
Right.
We'll break down how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers to, like, specific job descriptions and even give you feedback on your delivery.
Yeah.
It's like having a personalized interview coach right in your pocket.
Exactly.
All right, so stay tuned.
It really is like having, a secret weapon in your arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's precisely what we're going to unpack now.
Okay.
How RoleCatcher's AI can give you that extra edge
Yeah.
during your interview prep.
All right, so walk me through this.
Okay.
How can AI actually help someone, prepare for a physiology interview?
Right.
It sounds super futuristic.
It is, but it's also surprisingly user-friendly. With RoleCatcher, you can actually input the job description.
Oh, wow.
You're applying for the exact wording they use.
Right.
The AI then analyzes it and suggests ways to customize your answers to perfectly match what they're looking for.
So it's like having a personal stylist,
Yeah.
but for your interview answers.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Let's say the job description emphasizes, teamwork
Oh.
and collaboration.
Yeah.
The AI might suggest you highlight projects where you worked effectively in a team.
Okay.
Or mention experience, leading group discussions.
Gotcha.
It helps you connect the dots between your skills and what that specific employer is looking for.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of it, figuring out how to tailor your responses.
Absolutely.
But can you give me, like, a more concrete example
Yeah,
related to physiology?
absolutely. Imagine the job description mentions, a specific research area.
Oh, okay.
Like cardiovascular physiology. Okay. RoleCatcher's AI might prompt you to bring up
Okay.
any relevant coursework,
Yeah.
research projects, or publications you have in that specific area.
Right.
It helps you showcase your expertise
Yeah.
in a way that directly aligns with their needs.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
It's like having someone read the employer's mind
Right.
and tell you exactly what they want to hear.
Exactly.
Does it go beyond just, like, suggesting content?
It does. What I find really cool is that it also provides feedback on your delivery.
Oh, wow.
You can record yourself answering practice questions
Okay.
and get AI-powered analysis of
Right.
your tone, your pace,
Wow.
even your body language.
Okay, now that's a game changer.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal coach, but available 24/7, right?
Right.
Right in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
No more, like, awkward rambling or nervous fidgeting.
Yeah.
Just, like, clear, confident communication.
Exactly. And that confidence boost can make all the difference.
Right.
When you're in that interview room.
Before we move on, I want to touch on something else. RoleCatcher emphasizes
Okay.
career progression.
Right.
What does a typical career path actually look like in physiology?
Yeah.
It's not a, like, one-size-fits-all journey.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
And that's something RoleCatcher does a great job of highlighting.
Okay.
You might start, as a research assistant
Yeah.
or a junior physiologist.
Okay.
Getting that valuable hands-on experience in
Yeah.
the lab, assisting with experiments.
Right. So, like, paying your dues and learning the ropes.
Exactly. And as you gain experience and expertise,
Okay.
you can move into more senior roles, leading research projects, mentoring junior colleagues, maybe even securing funding for your own research initiatives.
And eventually you could become, like, a principal physiologist.
Right.
Overseeing, like, entire research programs
Exactly.
and shaping the future of the field.
It's a journey with a lot of potential paths and specializations.
Speaking of specializations, RoleCatcher has this awesome list
Yeah,
of different areas within physiology.
right.
It's mind-boggling how diverse the field is.
It truly is.
Wow.
From cardiovascular physiology to neurophysiology to exercise physiology, there's a niche for just about every interest.
Wow.
And what's really helpful is they provide real-world examples
Okay.
of what a typical day might look like at each career stage.
Okay.
And within those different specializations,
Right.
it gives you a much better understanding of what each path entails.
That's incredible. I wish I had access to this kind of resource
Yeah.
when I was starting out.
Right.
It would save me so much time and guesswork.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you nail those interview questions
Right.
and how their career guide provides valuable insights into, career progression and specializations.
Yeah.
But what about, like, the skills that are essential for success in this field?
Okay.
What are the traits that interviewers are looking for beyond just, like, technical knowledge?
RoleCatcher has a whole section dedicated to this.
Okay.
And it goes way beyond, just knowing your biology and anatomy.
Okay.
They highlight the importance of reading comprehension,
Okay.
active learning,
Right.
critical thinking, and
Yeah.
communication skills.
Makes total sense. You need to, like, absorb complex information,
Yeah.
stay up to date with the latest research,
Right.
and effectively analyze data.
Exactly. But what I find really interesting is that they also emphasize, those softer skills like active listening, judgment, and decision making.
Right.
It's about being like a well-rounded scientist
Yeah.
who can work effectively with others, communicate findings clearly,
Yeah.
and make sound judgments based on data.
It's like those skills become even more crucial as you, like, climb the career ladder and
Right.
take on, like, leadership positions.
Absolutely. And one thing I really appreciate about RoleCatcher is they don't just list these skills.
Okay.
They actually explain why they're important
Oh,
in the real world of a physiologist.
Right.
They connect those dots between the theoretical
Yeah.
and the practical.
So let's, like, break some of these down.
Okay.
They mention reading comprehension as being super important.
Yeah.
Why is that so crucial for a physiologist?
Well, think about what a physiologist does on a daily basis.
Okay.
They're constantly reading research papers, scientific journals, technical documents.
Right.
They have to be able to quickly and accurately understand, complex information
Yeah.
and pull out those key findings.
It's like being a detective, but for, like, scientific literature.
Exactly. And that's where active learning comes in.
Yeah.
It's not just passively absorbing information. It's
Yeah.
about engaging with it,
Yeah.
asking questions, and connecting it to what you already know.
Right.
It's about being like an active participant in your own learning process.
So you're saying it's not just about being, like, smart. It's about being curious
Yeah.
and actively seeking out, like, new knowledge.
Precisely. And that ties directly into critical thinking.
Okay.
Physiologists need to analyze data, evaluate different perspectives, and form their own conclusions.
Right. It's about being skeptical,
Mm-hmm.
questioning assumptions,
Yeah.
and not just accepting things at face value.
Right.
That's, like, a crucial skill in any scientific field.
Absolutely. And once you've formed those conclusions,
Okay.
you need to be able to communicate them effectively,
Right.
both in writing and verbally.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Reading comprehension fuels active learning, which
Mhm.
leads to critical thinking,
Yeah.
which ultimately results in effective communication.
Exactly. And all of those skills are interconnected
Yeah.
and absolutely essential for success
Okay.
as a physiologist.
Now, RoleCatcher also highlights, like, scientific knowledge
Right.
as a key skill,
Right.
which seems kind of obvious.
Mm.
But what does that entail beyond just basic biology and anatomy?
It's about having, a deep understanding
Yeah.
of scientific principles and
Yeah.
methodologies,
Yeah.
understanding how research is conducted, how data is collected and analyzed,
Yeah.
how conclusions are drawn, and being able to apply that knowledge to real-world problems.
So it's like having a toolbox full of, like, scientific methods
Yeah.
and knowing which tool to use
Right.
for each specific, research question.
I love that analogy.
Sure.
It's about having the right tools
Yeah.
and knowing how to use them effectively
Right.
to build that solid foundation for your research and ultimately your career.
So we've talked about the importance of those core skills.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about something else RoleCatcher emphasizes.
Okay.
The importance of showcasing your unique strengths
Yeah.
and accomplishments during the interview.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about answering questions.
Right.
It's about telling your story.
Absolutely. You want to paint a picture of yourself
Yeah.
as a passionate, skilled, and driven individual.
Yeah.
Someone who's not just qualified for the job,
Right.
but truly excited about contributing to the field.
So how do you actually do that?
Right.
What are some specific tips for making your interview responses stand out?
One powerful technique is to use the STAR method.
Okay.
Situation, task, action, result.
Okay.
This helps you structure your answers in a clear and concise way,
Okay.
highlighting your accomplishments and the impact you've made.
Okay. Can you give me an example of how that would work
Yeah,
in a physiology interview setting?
sure. Let's say you're asked about a time you overcame a challenge in your research.
Okay.
Using the STAR method, you could describe the situation, maybe an experiment that yielded, unexpected results.
Then you'd outline the task.
Right.
What were you trying to achieve?
Exactly. Next, you describe the specific actions you took. To address the challenge, did you reevaluate your hypothesis, consult with colleagues, or modify your experimental design?
And finally, you'd highlight the result.
Mm-hmm.
How did your actions lead to a positive outcome?
Exactly.
Did you uncover a new insight,
Right.
refine your methodology, or ultimately achieve the desired results?
Precisely. By using this framework, you can tell a compelling story that showcases your problem-solving skills,
Right.
your resilience, and ability to learn from setbacks.
That's such a helpful technique.
Yeah.
It's like a blueprint for, creating memorable and impactful answers that truly showcase your ability.
And it helps you avoid rambling or getting lost in the details.
Right.
Remember, you want to keep your answers concise and focused,
Right.
highlighting those key points that demonstrate your strengths and accomplishments.
Okay, so tell me more about this idea of telling your story.
Okay.
What does that look like in the context of a physiology interview?
It's about going beyond just listing your qualifications and actually weaving those experiences into a narrative
Okay.
that highlights your passion for the field.
Right.
Share what sparked your interest in physiology, what drives you to do this work, and what you hope to achieve in your career.
So it's about letting your personality shine through
Yeah.
and showing them you're not just a scientist, you're a person
Right.
with a real passion.
Exactly. And that passion is contagious.
Yeah.
It can make all the difference in
Right.
how you're perceived
Yeah.
by the interviewers.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about showing them that you're not just looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for a place where you can make a meaningful contribution
Right.
and, pursue your passion.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another important aspect of the interview,
Okay.
asking insightful questions.
All right. Asking questions is crucial.
Yes.
But what kinds of questions should you be asking in a physiology interview?
Think about questions that demonstrate, your knowledge of the field
Okay.
and your interest in the specific research being done at that institution.
So, for example, you could ask about the latest research projects,
Yeah.
the lab's areas of specialization, or the opportunities for collaboration.
Exactly. You can also ask about, career development opportunities, the mentoring program, or the institution's commitment to work-life balance.
Right.
These are all important factors to consider
Yeah.
when choosing a workplace.
Asking questions not only gives you valuable information, but also helps you assess
Yeah.
whether this is the right environment for you
Right.
to thrive and grow.
It's a two-way street, remember?
Yeah.
You're evaluating them just as much as they're evaluating you.
That's such an important reminder.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of the interview
Right.
and forget that it's also an opportunity for you to gather information
Absolutely.
and make an informed decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about something that often causes, anxiety for interviewees.
Yeah.
Handling those curveball questions, the ones that seem to come out of left field
Right.
and throw you off balance.
Oh, I definitely remember those from my early interview days.
Right.
Any advice for navigating those unexpected questions?
The key is to stay calm, think clearly,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to take a moment
Yeah.
to gather your thoughts before answering.
So it's okay to pause
Mm-hmm.
and say something like, "That's a great question."
Right.
Let me think about that for a moment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's better to take a few seconds to compose yourself
Yeah.
than to blurt out something you'll regret later.
Right. Right.
And remember, even if you don't know the answer off the top of your head,
Mm-hmm.
you can always demonstrate your problem-solving skills
Okay.
by talking through your thought process.
So, for example, if they ask you a question about a research area
Yeah.
that you're not as familiar with,
Right.
you could say something like, while I haven't specifically worked in that area,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always eager to learn new things.
Right.
Here's how I would approach researching that topic.
Exactly. It's about showing them that you're adaptable, resourceful, and have a growth mindset.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground on,
Yeah.
how to prepare
Mm-hmm.
for those tough interview questions.
Right.
But what about the overall interview experience?
Okay.
What can you do to create a positive and memorable impression?
First and foremost, be yourself. Authenticity is key.
Yeah.
Let your personality shine through, be enthusiastic, and show them that you're genuinely passionate about physiology.
So it's about being professional,
Mm-hmm.
but also letting your human side show a bit.
Exactly. And remember, preparation is key.
Okay.
Research the institution, the department, the specific research being done, and be ready to talk about how your skills and interests align with their needs.
It's like showing them you've done your homework
Yeah.
and that you're truly interested in working there, not just anywhere.
Precisely. And don't forget the basics. Dress professionally, arrive on time,
Right.
be polite and respectful to everyone you encounter.
It's those small details
Yeah.
that can make a big difference
Mhm.
in how you're perceived.
Absolutely. Now, as we wrap up this section on interview preparation,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Relax and enjoy the process.
Wait, enjoy a job interview.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
It can be.
Okay.
Think of it as an opportunity to, share your passion,
Yeah.
learn from others, and
Yeah.
make connections in the field.
Right.
Yes, it's a high-stakes situation,
Yeah.
but it's also a chance to, showcase your amazing skills and knowledge.
That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
It's about shifting your mindset
Right.
from fear and anxiety
Right.
to excitement and anticipation.
Exactly. And remember, you've worked hard to get to this point. Yeah.
You've gained valuable experience, developed essential skills, and cultivated, a deep passion for physiology.
Mm-hmm.
Let that shine through and you'll be unstoppable.
Well said. Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Huh.
I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, the importance of identifying, your area of specialization within physiology.
This is where things get really exciting.
Yeah.
It's about exploring that vast landscape of physiology
Okay.
and figuring out where your unique interests and strengths lie.
So how can RoleCatcher help you navigate this process of, specialization?
They've done a phenomenal job
Okay.
of outlining various specializations,
Yeah.
from cardiovascular physiology to neurophysiology to exercise physiology and everything in between.
It's like a smorgasbord of, scientific possibilities.
Exactly. And they provide insights into the type of research being done in each area,
Okay.
the potential career paths, and even the real-world applications of that knowledge. Okay, so let's dive into some of these specializations.
Okay.
What are some of the most popular areas within physiology?
Well, one that's always in high demand
Okay.
is cardiovascular physiology.
Okay.
This field focuses on the heart and circulatory system,
Okay.
exploring how they function,
Yeah.
how they're affected by disease,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can develop treatments to improve heart health.
That's a critical area.
Yeah.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death
Right.
worldwide.
Exactly. And physiologists are playing a crucial role in understanding
Yeah.
the mechanisms of heart disease
Yeah.
and developing new therapies to, combat it.
What about neurophysiology?
Okay.
That sounds fascinating.
It is. Neurophysiologists focus on the nervous system,
Okay.
the brain, spinal cord, and nerves.
Mm-hmm.
They investigate, how these systems communicate, how they control our thoughts and actions,
Right.
and how they're impacted by, neurological disorders.
So they're basically unraveling the mysteries of the human brain.
In a way, yes.
Oh.
It's an incredibly complex and challenging field,
Okay.
but it's also one with immense potential
Fair?
for understanding and treating conditions like Alzheimer's disease,
Wow.
Parkinson's disease, and epilepsy.
Those are pretty weighty topics.
Yeah.
What about something a little less brain intensive?
Well, how about exercise physiology?
Yeah.
This field focuses on how the body responds to physical activity.
Oh, okay.
They study the effects of exercise on, various systems, from the cardiovascular system to the muscular system to the immune system.
So they're the ones who tell us, like, how to get fit and stay healthy.
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
But their work goes beyond just, personal fitness.
So,
They also investigate how exercise can be used to prevent and treat chronic diseases,
oh, wow.
improve athletic performance, and enhance, overall well-being.
Okay, so we've got cardiovascular physiology, neurophysiology, and exercise physiology.
Yeah.
Those are just a few examples.
Yeah.
But it gives you a taste of the, incredible diversity within this field.
And RoleCatcher provides even more examples,
Okay.
delving into areas like respiratory physiology, renal physiology, endocrine physiology, and immunology.
Wow.
The possibilities are truly endless.
It's mind-blowing how many different paths you can take
Right.
with a physiology degree.
It really is. And that's what makes it such an exciting field to be a part of.
Right.
You can tailor your career path to your specific interests and make a real difference in the world.
Okay, so we've explored the vast landscape of physiology.
Yeah.
From the core skills you need
Right.
to those tough interview questions and even the different areas of specialization you can pursue.
Right.
Now it's time to, bring it all together
Okay.
and answer the big question.
Okay.
How do you actually choose the right path for you?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And there's no easy answer. Yeah.
But RoleCatcher provides some really valuable, insights and exercises to guide you on this journey of self-discovery.
So let's dive into that process.
Okay.
What are some key steps to take
Yeah.
when, figuring out your specialization within physiology?
First and foremost, be honest with yourself about your passions and interests.
Okay.
What topics truly fascinate you? What problems are you most driven to solve?
So it's about starting with that, inner spark, that thing that gets you excited to learn and explore.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to think outside the box.
Okay.
Your ideal specialization might be a combination of different areas.
Right.
Or it might be something that hasn't even been fully defined yet.
It's about being open to new possibilities and creating a path that's uniquely yours.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher encourages you to reach out to, mentors, professors, or researchers working in areas that interest you
So it's about tapping into that network.
and gathering insights from those who are already in the field.
Exactly. Ask them about their experiences, their challenges, their rewards, and what advice they would give to someone just starting out.
It's like getting a glimpse into the future of your potential, career path.
And don't underestimate the power of, internships or research opportunities.
Okay.
These can give you valuable hands-on experience and help you, solidify your interests.
So it's about, getting your feet wet
Yeah,
and seeing what it's actually like to work in a particular area of physiology.
exactly. And don't be afraid to change course along the way.
Okay.
Your interests and passions may evolve
Yeah.
as you gain experience and knowledge.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
It's okay to, pivot
Mm-hmm.
and adjust your trajectory as you, learn and grow.
Absolutely. The journey of specialization is not a straight line.
Right.
It's more like a winding path
Yeah.
with unexpected turns and detours. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Well said. And remember, you're not alone in this journey.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher provides a wealth of, resources, guidance, and support to help you find your perfect niche
Right.
within the world of physiology.
They've done a fantastic job of making this process less daunting and more inspiring. So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
embrace the journey of specialization with, open arms and an adventurous spirit.
And remember, your unique passion and skills are needed in the world of physiology.
Absolutely.
So go out there and make your mark. It sounds like, choosing a specialization is an ongoing process of discovery, right?
Right.
And there's no one right answer.
Absolutely.
But with, the resources and insights RoleCatcher provides, you're well equipped to, navigate this exciting journey.
They really do take the guesswork out of it. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into preparing for a physiologist interview,
Okay.
I want to emphasize one, key takeaway. Be authentic and let your passion shine through.
Okay.
Interviewers can spot a canned response from a mile away.
Right.
They want to see genuine excitement
Right.
about the field.
So it's not just about reciting, facts and figures.
Right.
It's about conveying that enthusiasm and showing them why you're like the perfect fit
Yeah.
for this role.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
It shows you're curious and engaged. Plus, it gives you a chance to learn more about the specific research they're doing.
It's a two-way street.
Right.
You're interviewing them
Yeah.
just as much as they're interviewing you.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that thought-provoking question RoleCatcher poses at the end.
Right.
If you were to specialize, what area of physiology fascinates you the most and why?
Yeah.
Having a clear sense of that passion will not only, guide your career choices,
Right.
but also infuse your interview responses with that, like genuine spark.
It's like coming full circle, right?
Yeah.
We started by understanding what a physiologist does.
Right.
Then we explored those like essential skills. And now we're focusing on like that individual passion
Yeah.
that kind of drives it all.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher gives you the tools to not only, understand the field,
Right.
but also present yourself as like the ideal candidate.
So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
prepping for their big interview, right? So remember to be yourself. Showcase your passion.
Yeah.
And use these amazing resources to prepare and shine.
Absolutely.
Best of luck. You've got this.